Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, see what's going on, of course, help you understand this, best practice, big picture, all that wonderful stuff. Try to anticipate what's going to happen next. Is it going to keep going up or are we going to see a bit of a retracement? Honestly, it could go either way. Bitcoin's showing a lot of strength, but it's also showing some weakness as well for potential pullback. We'll get into that, of course. If you're not new to the channel, thank you so much for joining me, of course. If you are new, feel free to consider becoming a community member. I have over 300 members presently that are just amazing parts of my life, and I can tell you it's really cool to be able to help everyone become better traders. So check that out in your own time. CryptoCache.tech. I got a trading academy, trading community, of course. And also I send out signals for every single trade that I take so you can learn how to structure your trades effectively. I do average maybe 80-85% success rate overall. And yeah, there's some times we just closed a short position recently, had to take a small loss, but that's just kind of how it goes when you're not quite sure. Okay, and what we want to do here with a TA is, of course, get some level of certainty. That's the whole point, is to kind of get like, hey, I need to know a little bit more if the odds are in our favor or if they're not, right? And that's what we're trying to do here. So take a look here at Bitcoin. First and foremost, we want to look at the moving averages, and something to really understand is that this 200-day SMA is working as a potential resistance right now. I say potential because it's only really been 2 days so far, but generally speaking, with it being in just say about the 2-day time frame, we could see a few more days here of that being a potential resistance. In other words, you have to test a resistance level multiple times to be able to break through it. Rarely you're just going to blast right through it the first time, but we can kind of see this nice little support created here. The price kind of bounced off the 50-day SMA, has continued upwards ever since, getting rejected off the 200 at this point. We've got almost a double gravestone pattern here forming. So, oftentimes when you see a double doji or a double gravestone, the likelihood of it turning around is much higher. Okay, because again, it's losing that potential momentum. There's a sell wall at a specific price point there, right around 48,000, and we can see the price is having trouble passing that point. So if we close today closer to the original open for the day, then we can kind of maybe anticipate that the pullback would be much higher, much more likelihood of that. Okay. Again, just general thoughts on how that should work and how that should play out. All right, that's kind of what we're looking at there. If we look at TD sequential though, keep this in mind because I get this question a lot. Hey, we're in extreme overtime. We should have seen a pullback a lot sooner. While that's true, we did have a lot of consolidation here between 5 and 9. Okay, so that being said, the 18th through the 22nd, a lot of sideways action, and this extra leg up is warranted, so to speak. And if you were to count, just say we're at this consolidation, technically we're in we're actually at 7 days into this trend. Okay, so there is potential for 2 more green days moving forward. All right, so just bear that in mind. But once again, generally speaking, it is overextended in the if you just want kind of the general sense, we are definitely overextended with Bitcoin for the moment. But also keep this in mind too, anytime we've seen Bitcoin go on a tear like this of more than 7 days of green, the likelihood of it continuing much higher from there is very, very likely. So again, probability of the price going up from here is extremely high. Macro, we're looking very good. I do not foresee Bitcoin coming sub 45,500 or maybe even just say 44,000 as a rough estimate based on key level supports that we have now that were previous resistances. Okay, so again, there's a handful of different theories and thoughts here, but generally speaking, the likelihood of it continuing higher is greater, but we also got to recognize the fact that it's overextended for the moment, and we could likely see either a sideways consolidation and or a pullback, which is very common characteristic in an increase like this. Okay, again, just need to build a little bit more volume at that base and continue higher. And speaking of base, let's go ahead and take a look at the volume here. Obviously, we got a tremendous amount of volume right around 42,000 as well as 38. Those are previous support levels. If we zoom out a little bit further, we kind of take roughly the last, let's go roughly about a year, approximately. And we can see, once again, the most amount of volume is below the current price point. But we can see there's a lot of volume here right at about 48,000. Big surprise, that's considered to be the sell wall. So that sell wall is effectively holding us in place. So we need more volume here close to 46 to be able to build on that to continue higher. Okay, again, just some big picture stuff to kind of understand going into it. Oh, one last thing, let's take a look at the RSI. We are actually rejecting off 70 on the RSI, which is once again synonymous with the 200-day set moving average. So when you see that kind of synonymous behavior between moving averages and the relative strength index, that kind of amplifies the resistance. So for lack of better terms here, I think we're going to be stuck under 70 on the RSI for a little while, which is perfectly fine. It'll allow for the price to calm down a little bit. So one of two things should happen. We'll see sideways action at the current price point between 47, 48, nice little channel there. Or we could see retracement all the way down to 46,000, perhaps even 45.5, 44.5. That'd probably be the absolute worst case scenario. I think we might get a candle wick down to just say 44,500 as a worst case. But generally speaking, we shouldn't expect the price to travel too far into this range between 46 and 44.5. Yeah. I think we're fairly safe at 46,000. The main reason why is because we have a tremendous amount of volume support at this price point, and again, additional volume support from below. That being said, 46,000 should hold as a strong support. That's my anticipation. All right, so again, all good stuff on the 1 day, but just stuff to understand, right? And as we can kind of see here, of course, the 50-day SMA is working synonymous with that trend line. So this trend is still our friend. Even if the price were to come down to consolidate at 46, that'd actually be optimal, because then we get a strong foundation of volume and continue this trend line upwards. So we haven't broken any trends. We're still in very good shape. If the price were to come back down, which I'm anticipating / hoping for, 46,000 should be the bottom, okay? And that'll keep us synonymous with this trend line, and of course the 50-day SMA would effectively be tested as well, and we'll see soon, within the next couple of trading days, how that's going to affect us. But for now, we're looking pretty good, and keep this in mind too, extremely overextended previously on the 4-hour time frame. I've talked about that multiple times in the past. A 4-hour RSI over 70 is typically disadvantageous. It causes the price to come back down. What's cool about this is that the price hasn't come back down yet and the RSI has calmed down. So it basically implies that we have a good amount of buying pressure between 46 and 47,000, and that the likelihood of it coming down very low is pretty low. So again, this continuation should continue. It's just that it got really overextended based on this large amount of volume here at this point, and we need to understand that a pullback is fairly likely. We also have a MACD divergence almost exactly formed on the 4-hour. Now, these are never guarantees, of course, as we can see from before. The previous one really pretty much went straight sideways for the MACD divergence. I know a lot of people that shorted at that point and kind of got wrecked. So again, generally speaking, this is kind of just stuff you need to kind of, we're taking a lot of different things and adding them together, right? And overall, I would say that the general consensus is that the price will continue higher. However, in the immediate near future, we should expect somewhat of a correction, right? At least you want to have a correction in order for the next leg up. Because, for example, this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for this. And we need to have those corrections to be able to get that volume at that price point. We need more volume at 46,000. We kind of skipped between 44.5 and 46 altogether. Instead of building a foundation of volume and continuing higher, we shot straight through it. So there's a likelihood to come back and test it. All right. Again, most of these things are kind of telling us that RSI is overextended, MACD divergence in the 4-hour. So generally speaking, we can see that shift in momentum on the 4-hour time frame right now. 1 hour as well here. If we were to take a look at the TD sequential, we don't really have much to go on here, of course, because it's really just kind of going straight sideways, getting a lot of resets. We hit a 9 here and then an 8, and it's pretty much just hit 5s ever since, which is pretty standard stuff. In fact, why don't we take a look at TDS on the 4-hour? I forgot to look at that as well. And we can see we did hit a 9 previously. So once again, the likelihood of pullback is quite high when you see a 9 on the 4-hour, especially when you see 2 9s in a row. So to me personally, that's why we took a short position here recently. When you see an overextension at the 9 and you hit a 9 one time, that tells you, okay, cool, the last 36 hours we've had a lot of bullish momentum. It's time for the bears to take their profits. That's usually what happens. Well, the bears couldn't take their profits. They continued to go sideways. Kept getting squeezed out. Got a super squeeze here, and the price continues to go sideways again. This is all well and good. This is a great trend line. It's just you got to keep in mind that that overextension will eventually factor in. And to me, I still feel like we should experience a pullback here soon based on that sentiment. But again, worst case scenario, or more so better case, depending on your position, right, is that the price goes sideways and we continue higher. There's really nothing wrong with that. But if it goes too high too soon, we'll see a stronger pullback, and we don't want to see that, right? And you can kind of see what happened with those strong pullbacks, of course. Like say if you look at the 4-hour and you go back to the previous time frame here, you can see what happens when the price goes up too fast and comes into a resistance. Now granted, we came up really fast and broke through a resistance. It's now a support level. But generally speaking, the harder something comes up, the harder it will come down. Okay. At least there's that potential. Again, this is a momentous trend. This is a continuation. The likelihood of it coming down very far is pretty low, but just know that's kind of where we're at. All right, our last thing here is what we're going to take a look at the cloud and see. And currently, according to the cloud, it tells us we do not want to open a long position and that the actual lagging span is essentially coming into intersection with the price action. So for lack of better terms, that's signal number one. This one is really close. So we have basically 1.5 signals of the 3 potential for the Ichimoku cloud, telling us that we may want to consider closing our position and or taking profits. Right? That's just generally what it's telling us. But again, we haven't traveled into the cloud yet. Until we officially break below the cloud, we are not considered to be, advantageous to take a short position. Right? In that sense, that's kind of what it's telling us. Again, you don't ever use just this one indicator alone, but the great thing about the cloud is it does give you three indications at once, and it's kind of a good, well-rounded tool you could use. So if you're going to use only one indicator for the rest of your life, that might be the best one. But generally speaking, again, a good TA is just taking everything that we have so far that we have understand and per time frame, and we kind of just extract it from there. We've identified the larger time frame. We have a nice bullish macro movement. Okay, so we're going to see a continuation of the upside, I think, regardless. That to me seems inevitable at this point. There's no reason for it to retrace or come back down. However, short term, specifically the 4 hours, telling us we have an expectation of a turnaround here soon, right? Once again, not going to be super significant, but it will potentially come down closer to 46. So to me, a good entry would be right around 47 and 46,000 for dollar cost average targets, and to effectively be able to add to your position as the price comes down. Obviously, you don't want to go super hard, but generally speaking, at this point, we're at this little crossroads, right? The crossroads are just telling us that we've got potential for a pullback on the short term, but the long term, we're looking good. So take that how you will and apply that in whichever way works best for your risk tolerance. And if you want to improve on your risk tolerance, of course, become a better trader, consider joining my trading academy, because I actually do help you with that. That's more so specifically what I talk about in my trading academy videos. And also you'll be able to kind of see that reiterated in my trading signals that I send out as well. So check that out in your own time. CryptoCache.tech is a site. Link in the description below. But that's it, all I have for today. Thanks again for joining me. Once again, appreciate you, community members. I love and appreciate you. Looking forward to our roundtable discussion here in just a little while. And we'll look forward to, hope you have a great rest of your day. All that good stuff. Take care. Thanks again for your time.